Tropical Storm Nate is raining like mad over Central America. I'm Mike Naso from the IPR Tropical Video Update page on YouTube. With the latest on the tropics, it has been a very active Atlantic hurricane season, but it is still October, and you almost get a secondary climatological peak around October 8th or 10th, which is why we often see late season storms. Tropical Storm Nate is no exception. You can see Nate was getting much better organized earlier before coming ashore in Nicaragua. However, now that it's over land, it will not intensify, but it's going to move back out over water, and strengthening should continue for the next 2 to 3 days, which is why we have a hurricane watch along the northeastern coast of the Yucatan Peninsula. Here is the latest on Tropical Storm Nate. As of 11 a.m. Eastern Time, it was at 14.3 north, 83.7 west. Winds were 40 miles per hour, gusting to 50, so it's a minimal tropical storm. And it's moving rather slowly northwest at about 8 to 9 miles an hour. 999 millibars, so the pressure did drop below 1,000 millibars, so it was intensifying as it came ashore. Now, by later this evening, it should be moving back off over the waters of the Caribbean Sea, and then spend most of Friday intensifying, clip the northeastern Yucatan Peninsula, and then head into the Gulf. Now, officially, the Hurricane Center has it making landfall sometime Sunday morning as a Category 1 hurricane over Louisiana or Mississippi. However, this is still a long way out. It could be further to the east towards, say, areas of Pensacola and the Florida Panhandle. It could be further to the west towards areas of Lafayette and New Iberia. Right now, it is still too soon to say, but anybody in the area, say, from Sabine Pass all the way over to Apalachicola, you guys really need to be overlooking your hurricane plans and what to do should you get hit by Nate over the next couple of days. You can see the spaghetti model plots continue to take the system very closer over the Yucatan within, say, 36 to 48 hours, and then back out over the Gulf of Mexico, and then some of them are even starting to trend a little further west towards western Louisiana. Right now, the consensus and the Hurricane Center is still more towards southeastern Louisiana, so we're going to focus on that area for now, but again, anything is possible, and there's a lot of time to watch it. So that's the one good thing here, you have time. You can see the 12Z GFS model brings it ashore much further to the west now along the mid-Louisiana coastline, areas like New Iberia and Lafayette taking a direct hit. That's the 12Z GFS. You can see it doesn't make it an extremely intense hurricane, but it looks like it does make it a hurricane, although the Yucatan sure slows it down. There at the end, it strengthens right as it comes ashore. That would be very troubling. Should note that the European model, this was the 0Z European, but it does show it south of Louisiana, and it makes landfall somewhere between, say, areas of Pilot Town, New Iberia, right along the swampy area, say Houma, Louisiana. But again, this is already 3 days out. So you're talking about 3 days with a system that is over Nicaragua as a minimal tropical storm. So there is a lot of time to track the center and be able to zero in on it as time goes by. But right now, this is just giving an indication that if you're in Louisiana, you want to keep tuned very carefully. 970 millibars is what the 06Z H-Wharf has it coming ashore as, with a wind of about, say, 90 miles an hour here, right along the southeastern Louisiana coastline. The hurricane force winds and the tropical storm winds would impact a lot of the Gulf Coast of Louisiana and Mississippi. So this is the time to overlook your hurricane plans. There's the visible satellite imagery. You can see the center is not well defined, but there is definitely some turning in there as it interacts with land. It's about to cross on over into Honduras, and the overall motion at 10 miles an hour should bring it over water sometime later this evening or tonight. So once it gets back out over water with these bursting rain bands, that's indicative of very, very favorable conditions, and that's why we're going to see this thing strengthen once it moves back out over water. You can see the radar here shows a lot of heavy rain occurring in Nicaragua, pulling in on the south end of the tropical cyclone. You can see the center is up towards the north here. So it does have, obviously as it leaves the radar range, indicative of a lot of heavy rain that it has flowing here into areas of Costa Rica and Nicaragua, and that might not slow down anytime soon. So as we continue to see the system pull on off towards the northwest, hopefully some of those rain bands will let up. But again, the sprawling circulation doesn't give me hope that that's going to happen, so torrential flooding is a huge threat with Nate. Water temperatures are no problem. In fact, the problem that they could be is allowing this thing to strengthen. Look at how hot they are over the Western Caribbean. Remember what we've seen this year. We've seen Hurricanes Irma and Maria and Jose. They've all taken tracks like that, but we have not yet seen anything over these bubbling Western Caribbean waters. This is a problem for October and November with these late season storms developing in the Caribbean, and it should be noted that the official Hurricane Center track of Nate does bring it very close to or over some of these hottest waters here, including a little eddy there in the Gulf of Mexico. So that is concerning that Nate could strengthen as it pulls over water. But again, we've got a lot of time to watch this. As of right now, the threat is the heavy rain and flooding to Central America, the hurricane watch for the northeastern coast of the Yucatan Peninsula, and then from there, the Gulf Coast. You guys need to be on alert as Nate continues to intensify, as it'll move over the Caribbean Sea towards the Gulf. Have your hurricane plan of action ready in case Nate heads your way. I'm Mike Naso. I'll see you guys next time.